Hello everyone, hello peeps, welcome back to another video on the Man Cubs channel. I don't know why I did that. And today I'm going to be doing a quick video giving you 5 building tips and 2 more general but tips on how to make your Minecraft city feel more alive and to give it a bit more detail. So let's get straight into it. The first one we're going to be looking at are different lampposts. So you can see I've lined the road here with lampposts. Now what I try and do is between each lamppost, so between this one and this one, I leave a block gap of 15 blocks. That's just what I think looks good. And I try and alternate sides. If it's an especially busy area, I would put them on both sides, or if it's a wider road, I would put the lampposts on both sides. But as you can see, I've tried and alternated. And I will show you a couple of different lamppost designs here. I have them prepared over here. So the first one is, I like to call this the mid-urban lamppost design. It's not the most urban lamppost, but it is sort of for like high streets, for little busy roads, but not for residential areas. For residential areas, I usually like to use this one here. This one, it just gives a little bit more of a warmer feel, a little bit cozier, which is why I like to use it for residential. Over here, we have this one, which is my main road lamppost, and for busy roads, maybe like touristy areas, it's a little bit fancier with the quartz and the diorite, because obviously we don't have quartz walls. And I've got the deep slate at the bottom, and this one's a little bit taller than the others. And then this one I call, well, I don't know, I've only used it on one road in my city so far, but I would call it sort of in between this one here and that one there. So for still pretty fancy-ish areas, but not main roads, if that makes sense. So this one has got the colours of that one, but the shape of this one. And this one I find is useful for more pedestrian areas. So if you haven't got many cars coming through, or if it's completely pedestrianised, then I like to use this one here. Add them, and when you look at night, it just looks a little bit better. So the second one is kind of a mixture of lots of different tips that just work together so well. And the first one I want to show you are bus stops. So this is my bus shelter design. It's not the best bus shelter, but this is the one I like using. It's pretty standard, and then I've got a bus stand, like a bus post, and then this would have the name of the bus stop and then the routes that would come onto it. So if you have like custom map art or whatever, those plugins, then you could put like what the name of the stop is and what bus route stop at it. The next bit is metro signs. So I've got this lovely one here. I've got some deep slate, some dark oak, so it's very similar to the lamppost designs over there, but I've used a hopper here to connect it nicely to the full block, where I put some pearlescent frog lights, and I put the banner with my metro logo on, and then just topped it off with the slab. So it signposts where the logo, the metro station is, but obviously it doesn't work in all stations, so sometimes I like to, and I'll just show you right now, over here, I like incorporating some of them into the wall of the metro station if it's built into the building. So here I've got it in the crimson thing, and I've still got some lights there surrounded by trapdoors. Or another one that I did do is over here, and then this one is just the same, but instead it's got some warped wood, because that matches the colour theme of that station. So that is the metro signs. Just pop them outside a metro station or train station or anything, and they do add quite a bit of life to it. The next bit is ticket machines. So if I come into this station, this is East Point Bridge Station. This is the new area I'm working on, and I'm showing you most of the tips are around here. Ticket machine. So green is kind of the colour of my metro system, and then I've got a nice little thing. Ticket machine, Oshix Metro, Cross Urban Railway, and then I've just made up some prices. And then what I've done is if I press the button, I get a ticket. Now obviously this just doesn't really do anything, because you can walk through the ticket barriers without paying anything, but it's just a nice bit of realism for that. And then the last bit about transport is signage. So for example here, this metro line is called the Vitaria line, a southbound towards, and it tells you all the stations that go southbound. Think about if you were in a station and you didn't know where everything is, how would you like it signposted? That's how I think about it. So here we've got a sign lifts to the southbound platform 2, and then just the main area. We've got the lines and the stations repeated again here, lifts to ticket hall, and then the platform signage. I have the name of the station, the direction, the next station along, and where the other platform and the exits and the step-free exits are. So that's signage. Just a little bit can add so much because it tells you a little bit about the place and things that are there. So the next thing that I'm going to show you, number 3 on the list, are markets. So I've got a little market here actually, and all I've done is put only 4 stalls in, a couple of stairs, a couple of these shorter design. It's like that one over there, the lamppost, but just a bit shorter so it fits under here. And then I've surrounded it with a bit of greenery to separate it from the main road. So I've just got some trapdoors surrounding Parcel, and some got bamboo, some have got a little custom tree, some have got some azalea. Just gives a little bit of separation, and it ends off with a bench over here so you can sit down. And yes, I do have a plug-in so you can sit down on the stairs. So if you have a little space that you're not sure what to put in and it's a reasonable size, so for example here, half of it was by the main road, I don't want to do something too narrow, and then the other half was underneath this railway bridge. So I thought, let's put a market there. So we've got like a little fish market here. These market stalls, by the way, I did not design. This one was designed by Gold Robin. This one over here, Uziivo, I don't know how to pronounce it. We've got a little fruit market here, and then we've got these barrels, and I've used coral with some water underneath to show there's some fruit in there. So we might have some like grapes, and we might have some mangoes, I don't know. Here we've got a little noodle bar, and we've just got a basic kitchen. You could do some more detail here with like some bowls and whatnot. Over here we've got some cakes. We've got some nice banners with fruits. Obviously I am aware that if you are doing this in survival and you don't really want to get into the cheaty side of things, you're not going to be able to do the custom heads unless you change your skin to a custom head and then kill yourself if you have that data pack on. So for example, you could just put item frames with the things, or just put some actual Minecraft cakes here. So you can see it just feels like there's stuff happening in this area. So that's number 3. Number 4 is a little bit of a smaller one. I will show you over here. And I only started doing this the other day. This is the first one I've done in my city. It is a parcel collection locker. So if you order something we don't want it delivered to your house or your flat or whatever, you can send it to a parcel collection locker. So I've just put some barrels here, and I put a nice bit of red with the mangrove signs, because that's sort of posterly colours, at least here in the UK, with the white. I've used a custom banner just to make a screen. This was used somewhere else in a plane for something. I've just reused it here, and we've got a sign with some instructions: input code, confirm name, take item out of open locker, and then a tripwire hook because that kind of looks parcely. So if you just got a blank wall and a bit of pavement around, then you can put that there because it kind of gives that area a purpose. People are going to be going there to collect their parcels, so that's pretty nifty. Number 5 is road texture. What do you mean road texture? Your textures, there are no textures on your roads, it's just grey concrete. Now this is obviously on my normal roads I don't put texture because I kind of started without texture, but obviously you can see here on this bit here I've done some random texture. I've just used world edit and randomly put some things here, so you could obviously put it in hand-picked just to make a bit more sense. Over here on these service roads and back alleys, like over back here as well, I've just put a combination of stone bricks, and then pale moss, which I think looks pretty neat, and also gives you the option to, if I show you over here, you can put some grassy bits on there, some foliage on the pale moss, and it looks like it's growing out of the stone like some weeds. So I've got some grass here, and then over here I've put some more grass and some dried grass over here. Now this bit I've just put some gravel and andesite because it's a little bit more worn out. So I try and put some texture into my roads in like the areas where the road is not as pristine. If I could do this again, I would probably mix the grey concrete in with some grey concrete powder. But as you can see, I've built it floating, and that'll be really annoying to do. Another thing you can do, if there's an obvious place where there's a road seam, if that makes sense, so like where it's been joined together, it's not continuous, you can use a different material. So I use grey concrete for my roads. I've used cyan terracotta here to show that this is the part where the main road comes onto the bridge, and it goes over this pillar thing here. So that's another way you can use road texture, and it doesn't just have to be for the main road surface. As you saw over here, I've used some diorite and some calcite to represent the lines, because I think it just it doesn't look as clean when in this environment. We've got some messy kind of material for the road, so it makes sense to have something messy for the road lines. Another thing is an honourable mention, because it won't be 7 in total. If you've got a road going under a bridge, put some dotted or stripy markings to show the maximum height. So I use yellow and grey concrete. So I've got one there, I've got one over here. Obviously this area is going to have a lot because we've got a bridge going right through it. We've got some here, and then over here this road goes down, this one stays the same, so we've got some here. And if you don't have block space, what you can use slabs. So here I've used bamboo mosaic and deep slate slabs to represent the height restriction. So now I'm going to show you the more general tips for buildings in your city, rather than details you can add. So what I've got over here is a brick building, right? Now obviously if you've got a really big brick building, it's going to look really busy, because brick's quite a busy texture and it's going to be really quite uninteresting. So what you can do is texture it by just adding in some other materials. Now the classic ones to go for are things like granite, which I've used over here, things like terracotta, which I've used over here, and polished granite as well. Some people use jungle planks. I've used that in a couple builds, but the one that I have not seen people using is right here, and it is the exposed copper. So here I've used it as a sort of decoration, as a trim, the chiseled exposed copper, because it's a very similar color, but you've got the bit of green, and it just looks so good, you know. So I've used that here. Also over here I'll put up a couple pictures if you want to see. Obviously you can use other blocks. So for example, light grey terracotta works pretty well, even though I didn't use any bricks there. It's kind of like brick adjacent if you look compared to this. Over here as well, we've got some light grey terracotta, not just normal terracotta. Light grey works also quite well. Those are my brick texturing suggestions. Just try and make interesting things with it. And if you've got a really flat wall, what you can do, add some texture into the wall. So like here, this side of this house was just going to be completely flat with bricks. So what I did, I got some granite stairs and some brick stairs and just sort of made some interesting things. Obviously, I don't really know what it means, but it just breaks it up a bit. So that's how I texture bricks. Now the final one, number 7, for the general building tips, are windows. Now, if you are using Optifine, or if you've got connected glass textures on, this will work better, but it still has a decent effect when not with connected glass textures. So as you can see here, I use 2 different colors of glass to represent the where the panes or the frame of the window is. So here I've got like 2 on top, and then I've got side by side, and then I've got like a 4x4 there. It just, especially if you've got a larger window. So for example here, I've got this lovely window, big window at the front. So what I've done 2 here, 2 there, and then alternated them, so it gives a lovely frame texture, especially with the connected textures. It obviously doesn't look as good if you don't have connected textures, but it still works fine. And it's not just panes, you can do it with glass as well. So here on these shop fronts, which I'm yet to furnish, I've just done some tinted glass and then black glass. They look very similar as well, which is quite cool. And then over here, for example, I've done a zigzag pattern, which if you want on like a feature glass area, so like on the front of this railway station, that looks pretty cool as well. So those are my 7 top tips, or 5 details and 2 building tips on how to make your Minecraft city, your Minecraft town more immersive, more lived in, more realistic. If you found any of these tips useful, then please let me know in the comments below. If you've got any suggestions, that would also be extremely fantastic. If you have enjoyed this video, it would be wonderful if you could press the like button. If you want to subscribe to see some more random content on this channel, share the video with your friends, family, whoever, and comment down below anything, just whatever you feel like, all the YouTubery stuff that YouTube people like to say. And yeah, I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, in a previous video, or whenever. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.